When designing exercise training programs, in program design, you want to think about the 3 Ps. Prioritizing what's important within the training program and ensuring that within the week and within the entire training cycle, that's being an objective that you're taking advantage of. For example, if you need to improve single leg activities, or you're stooping, or work on mobility of the right ankle, or improve your conditioning, that should be a priority. And it should be placed within your training program in which you're rested and your brain is capable of improving that. Let me give you an example. If you train from Monday to Friday, and that works well for you for your exercise schedule, whether you're an athlete or someone who's just trying to be more fit, or you're trying to improve your overall function, and you take Saturday and Sunday off, I'd suggest that Monday be the priority day for you, and maybe even Tuesday as well and Thursday, to take advantage of your brain and your rest and your ability level to start down that road of improving that skill. Remember, that skill could be anything. It could be conditioning, it could be overhead work, it could be structure your shoulder, it could be hip flexibility. Whatever it is, we need to involve that into our training program and prioritize it in the week. And over time, the old adage goes, if you need something improved, do it often. So if you want to improve your chin-ups past 2 repetitions strict, I'd suggest you do it under a high volume to allow good recovery, but also that it's done first in the week or first after a good rest day so that your brain can learn good movement patterns and try to get stronger with it. The second P is planning. One of the biggest mistakes when people design their own exercise program, which I want you to take from that, is that putting together an exercise program in which you show progression. It may be a 4th P. So planning out your exercise program that fits within your lifestyle. Planning it based upon the day where energy is good for you. So if you were to take all things aside and you had control of the entire schedule, then you want to pick a part of the day where your brain says, let's hit this. I'm ready to do some activity. It may be an internal sign that you have the correct hormonal balance ready to do some exercise, which will help in exercise and in recovery as well. That's intricate. As opposed to feeling tired and then saying, oh, I should exercise now because I'm tired. That may be a sign that your body's in a recovery mode, or you may not be working well relative to the sun and moon cycle, in which it's not a good time to do your exercise. So you can plan appropriate for a day. You could also plan appropriate for a week. So if you're going to do an exercise regime that's very intensive on a Friday, you may be very tired from the weekend relative to the brain. So at the end of that Friday, if you've been fried relative to all the work you've done in the week, you can do more breathing activities on Friday. So those are just little insights in terms of why planning should be an important thing that you partake in outside of just prioritizing what goes into that training program. So if you plan it appropriately, you'll have continued progression over time. And the third thing is periodize. The old adage of periodization was taken on and used effectively, and then it was boohooed, and it's been taken on and boohooed. And I think of periodization as a comprehension to prioritizing and planning and putting it all together. What I mean by periodization is to putting your life training, your sport training, or your function training into blocks. And there's nothing wrong with putting it into blocks. We've operated based upon a moon, sun, and a seasonal cycle for our whole lives. And we constantly have these up and down points in our system that allows us to cooperate with periodization. Meaning that your brain may learn how to do some movements over a 3 to 6 week period. Therefore, periodize those time frames in which you get to a good learning objective and your body starts to reach its capabilities. You can change things up. That adaptation stress response is written in our code. Therefore, sticking to some form of planning and periodization cycle is important for progression, because it'll allow you some specific goals like we talked about in life coaching, and then give you an aim based upon that end point, write up the recipe and the resources for that little plan, achieve it, and move on. That, my friends, is called periodization. So those 3 Ps are imperative to put together a training program that's going to be successful long term. Prioritizing what's important, both in the day and the week in the current training program and in your life in general. Planning it out to make sure you're successful with it. And then periodizing into blocks so that you get some success over time and you know there's direction based upon that. So to summarize, in program design, we discussed some really important strength training principles. We talked about why energy system training is highly important and why you can start involving it in your training program to get you to those next levels. And also talking about prioritizing, planning, and periodizing and its importance within the training program.